Good morning and welcome to our strength building yoga session. Let's begin. Of course, it might not be morning if you're watching this on YouTube. So maybe I should say, hi, welcome to our strength building yoga session. Let's begin on all fours. And because we're just beginning and warming up, simply come into whatever movement your body would appreciate at the moment. Perhaps rolling out the shoulders. I find if I bend one elbow and straighten the other, I can really get into that bent elbow shoulder, that shoulder with the bent elbow. Release it. Oh, in a way that feels really nice. Shift your weight around your hips, leaning to one side just to begin to open up and work the hips on one side and then the other. Arch and round your spine if that feels good. Be careful with your lower back. If you overarch, that over time can really strain the lower back. And then let's tuck the toes under and lean your weight right back into your toes. Feel that. Bring the weight forward over the hands and bring the shoulders over your fingers. Lean the weight back with your toes tucked under, if that feels all right for your toes, of course. Quite a strong stretch on the toes, actually, and the arch of the feet, which is good. Leaning forward, shoulders over the fingers. Leaning back. Let's round the belly, round the back. Hollow body, it's called. Coming forward, shoulders over the fingers. We're really pressing the hands into the mat. And the shoulders are very strong here. And exhale, release. Relax for a moment. Take the hands off of your mat and just give the wrists a little bit of extra warm-up. Just for a moment, and then come back to your mat. Shoulders above the wrists, fingers spread, tuck the toes under. Downward facing dog. From your downward dog, come up onto your toes, lean forward, bring the shoulders over the fingers. You're rounding the spine, hollow body it's called. And lean back, bringing the body back into the shape of a V. Coming forward, shoulders over the fingers. At the same time, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Lean back. Coming forward a third time. Let's hold this. This is called, well, I don't know what it's called. It's halfway between a plank and a downward facing dog. Maybe it's called high plank or hollow body plank or something like that. Anyways, you're drawing the belly in, pressing your hands into the mat. The shoulders are over the fingers. At the same time, the shoulders are drawing back away from the ears. And on the next exhale, come back into your downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Bend your knees. Lean forward and gently hop both feet off of the mat, hopping in place. Let's do it about 10 times, and I've already lost count. And my hands are sitting on the mat, which is unusual. Oh, it's a new mat, that's why. Okay, let's come back into our downward facing dog. And just be still with it for a moment, pressing the hands into your mat. I'm going to go forward because this mat is a slippy because it's older. Holding your downward facing dog. Now let's press the hands into your mat, lean forward, hop the feet forward instead of in place. And if you prefer, you can hop in place. When you hop forward, you're not looking for height, you're looking for lightness. And you get lightness in the feet by pressing your hands into the mat, as if you're pushing the mat away. Let's do it twice more. That was once. As lightly as you can. Coming back into your downward facing dog. Staying with that, letting that be your rest posture. This time, we're going to take it a step further. We're going to hop the feet forward, pressing the hands into the mat. Bring your bottom onto the mat, leaning back. Come into boat pose. Cross the ankles, tuck the feet close to your body. Bring your hands forward, hop back. That was a bit heavy, never mind. Hop back into your down dog. Hop forward. Boat pose. Crossing the ankles, hopping back. Forward. Back. Forward. And back. We're not doing this for the elegance. We're doing this because it builds the strength of the whole body at the same time as raising the heart rate. When you cross the ankles, try crossing the ankles as you hop back. Try crossing the ankles the other way from what you're used to. When I do that, it's so awkward. Oh gosh. You get so used to things. Let's do one more round. Finishing with sitting. After your boat pose. Extend the legs. Great. Good stuff. Extend the legs in front of you. Shake the legs out. If your hamstrings are tight, bend your knees. Actually, even if your hamstrings aren't tight, let's start with knees bent, knees and feet together. So now we're coming into our recovery posture, holding a yoga posture for, oh, I don't know, probably about 30 seconds or so. Feel as if you are leaning into the front edge of your sitting bones, especially with knees bent. This becomes easier, much harder with the legs straight. Breathe in, lift the chest. Looking forward, draw the belly towards your thighs. Keep the knees pressing in towards each other. The knees want to move away from each other. Keep your gaze forward, your chest lifted. So we're just coming into a half Paschimottanasana, half forward, sitting forward bend. Belly to thighs. It's so tempting to want to come down like this, but this is with the shoulders hunched and the spine rounded, but this is so not what we're resting in. Relax the shoulders and relax the jaw. Keep the knees pressing in towards each other, feet as well. Oh, that was a lot longer than 30 seconds. Let's breathe in. Come back, shake out the legs, come into our downward dog. From downward dog, we're going to come into some standing postures. Shoulders below wrists, knees below hips, tucking the toes under. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And let's just for a moment reach the tailbone right up to the ceiling as high as you can, pressing into the base of both index fingers. From there, bring your right leg forward. You may need to use the hand to bring it up to the toes to the level of your wrists. Keep your left heel lifted. Bring yourself up to standing. Then wiggling my left foot further back. Bring the arms in front, front knee bent. And then looking forward, take the arms overhead. Draw the right hip back. Sink your weight, the weight of the hips down, keeping the back leg straight. Warrior one. Draw the lower belly muscles in to stabilize and support all around the lower belly and the lower back. And let's come up into Warrior Two, taking our back heel down. Take the arms to shoulder height. Shake out the shoulders. Otherwise, the shoulders will be doing all the work. Sink more deeply into your front leg. Draw the back shoulder and the back hip backwards away from you. Release the arms, straighten your front knee. Walk your back leg forward until you have enough forward weight that you can come onto your front foot and either leaning forward, either keeping the back toes on your mat or perhaps lifting the back foot, the back leg, leveling the hips. Very important to almost round your lower back. If you find you haven't quite got the strength to do that, there'll be too much strain on your lower back, and I would suggest taking the back toes down, rounding the back here, strengthening the lower back this way. But if it works for you, coming up into our Warrior Three, pointing the back toes, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale. Take that back foot down. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Just straighten the legs. And let's turn to the other side. Actually, no, let's not turn to the other side. Let's come back into our downward dog. So we come back to our resting pose. And from there, we bring the left foot forward. Coming up with the back heel lifted, front knee bent, Warrior One. Drawing this time the left hip back. My balance is all over. Coming into Warrior Two, walking your right foot further back. Make sure your heel is the farthest part of your body away from the rest of you. You can never think of how to put that in a better way. So what I'm trying to say is your right toes are turned in a little. Release the shoulders, draw the belly muscles in. See if you can sink any more deeply into your left knee. Draw the right shoulder and the right hip back. Okay, releasing the arms. Wiggle your back foot far forward enough that you can lean into the left foot, left leg, left side, either keeping the right toes on your mat, drawing the lower belly in, or maybe lifting the right leg. Keep a little bend in your standing leg. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Gently point the toes. Try your best to level your hips. Bring the back foot down. Come up to standing. And let's have a little recovery posture with Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Bring the inner edges of the feet parallel with each other. Breathe in, lifting and lengthening the front of the body, exhaling, Slowly bringing yourself down, releasing the shoulders, releasing the neck. Bring your fingers or your hands onto a surface rather than just hanging, which is fine, but not for today. Breathing in, lengthening the front of your body before you exhale. And simply release the upper body, release the shoulders, release your neck. The knees can be bent. And let's come down to all fours. And from all fours, come down into forearm plank. I think I'll go this way. With your knees down to start with. Forearm plank with the knees down. Draw the belly in, tuck the tailbone under, spread the fingers, have your forearms parallel with each other. And then if you wish, tuck the toes under, lift the knees. Make sure your shoulders are above your elbows. And let's just breathe into that for a few breaths. Take the knees down, draw your hips backwards, stretch out the front of the body. Arms staying where they are. That's a little extra bonus stretch. I just felt like that was what was needed here. So let's come back down into our forearm plank. Pressing the forearms down, lifting the shoulders, tucking the tailbone under, and let's lift the left leg and lower the leg. Same thing, lift the left leg and lower. Third time, and lower. Fourth time, and lower. Last time, lift the left leg and lower. Lift the right leg and lower, shift your weight, lift the leg, even your weight out as you lower, shifting the weight as you lift. That was 3, 4, lower, 5, lifting the leg and lower. Come back into your forearm plank. If you need to put the knees down at any point, feel free. I'm getting out of breath. What was the next one? Draw the left knee towards the upper arm. That's 1, that's 2, oh, that's 3, that's 4, and 5. Right knee towards the right arm. That's 2, that's 3, 4, and 5. Knees down, have a little rest. Come up to your hands. And I said little rest. I meant very little, unless you need a longer one. Come up to your hands. Plank. Tuck the tailbone under, shoulders above the wrists. And lean forward, shoulders now above the fingers. And back. Lean forward, coming onto the toes. Leaning back. Come forward. And back. 4. Back. 5, and hold. Shoulders above the fingers for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Coming forward into plank. Lower one forearm, lower the other forearm. Lift one forearm, lift the other forearm. Alternating which forearm you start with and which forearm you lift from. Keeping track. Lowering and lifting from the same forearm and then alternating. Let's do this one more time. And come into your downward facing dog. Staying in your down dog for a few breaths. Never has a downward dog felt like such a rest posture. Okay. Knees down. Rest in an extended child's pose for about 30 seconds. Arms reaching. Knees wide, toes together. Okay, that was just about 30 seconds. Coming to sitting. With the legs in front of you. Lean your weight back. Lean over onto the right hip. Take your arms over to the left side. Extend the legs so you're balanced on your right buttock with a bit of luck. Extending as far as you can. Some of you may be able to go further down. And as you exhale, bring the knees, keeping the knees together as close to your body as you can. Inhale, the whole time we're balancing on the right buttock, on the right hip. Going down as far as you can. I'm working on getting lower still. Let's do this about 10 times. I've lost count. This feels like about 8. For me, feels like about 9 and 10. Shift the weight. A little rest. Shift the weight over to the left hip. Arms over to the right. Inhale as you extend. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Shift your weight back on both hips. Lift your feet or keep your heels on the mat. Take your arms wide. Exhale, bring the arms together. Inhale, take the arms wide for 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. 5. Doing another 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. And hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale. Weren't you glad I didn't get you to hold it till 10? Lying down on your back. Not resting yet though, not quite. Lift legs. Lift arms. And just for a moment, relax your body into your mat. And then let's lift both arms and legs, lifting both hips and shoulders. Lifting for 1, 2, exhaling as we lift 3, 4, 5. And you lift higher for 6, 7, higher 8, 9, and 10. Take the left leg up, right leg extending straight out just above the floor, hovering. Arms at your sides. Lift head and shoulders if you wish, and change the legs. So now the right leg is lifting up, the left leg is extending just above the floor. Change again. If you want, you can lift your arms, looking along the body. That's too hard in the neck. You can take your hands behind the neck to support the neck. The head is quite heavy. Or you can also simply rest your head on your mat. Do be careful of drawing your lower back into the floor. One downside of having your head on the floor on your mat is that it tends to make the lower back lift. If you can, lift the head and shoulders. That pushes the lower back down into your mat. And let's do another 5, 4, 3. This is our last exercise. 2 and 1. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Release the head and shoulders down. And if you like, you can take the knees wide. You might want to hold the outside of the shins or the feet. And just to finish, Upavista Konasana, extending the legs, taking hold of the big toe with your second and third fingers, taking the feet as far away from each other as you can. Knees can be bent or legs straight, pressing the back of your body into your mat. Releasing, having a little twist, side to side, knees bent, rolling the legs to one side and then the other. You can roll the head as well if that feels nice, if that feels good. And then let your body come into what it's looking for at the moment, which is the relaxation, your Savasana. Have your knees bent or legs straight. Roll the arms out. Let the top of the shoulders release heavily into your mat. Palms face up, if that works for your shoulders. And it may be that your arms roll in a little bit. That's fine. Make sure you release around the hips, the lower back, the belly, the shoulders, the neck, and the face. Resting here in your Savasana for as long as you're able to, for as long as you wish to. Giving your body the time it needs to adapt, adjust, assimilate, absorb all the work it's done. Thank you for practicing with me, and we'll see you next time.